Happy Friday!
Today's experiment is salt.
And because it's Friday, we're going to go wild. We're going to do a mishmash of chemistry and physics. So, another name for salt is sodium chloride, which is a compound. And a compound is a substance made of two or more elements, two of these, chemically bonded together. So we're going to look at salt, and that's made from the element sodium and the element chlorine, so a metal and a non-metal, chemically bonded together. And I'm going to talk about an ionic bond, which is how it's formed, the compound. So this is a metal, sodium, and the atomic number is 11. I'll talk more about this in future videos. So it has 11 electrons, these negative charges around the atom. And an ionic bond is a transfer of one of those electrons, the outer electron, to a non-metal element. So that one's transferred over here. And atoms like to have an outer electron shell of 8 electrons. So the sodium now has 8, and the chlorine now has 8 in the outside shell. So they're happy. And ions are formed. Now an ion is a charged particle. So this one, the sodium, is positively charged, and the non-metal chlorine is negatively charged. And there's an electrostatic attraction between a positive and a negative ion, which forms what we call a lattice shape. Now, over to the fun stuff. Oh, let's just quickly do our little demo. So this is the outer electron, and it's going to transfer, woo, good catch, to a non-metal. That's an ionic bond, okay? So that ball throwing is an ionic bond. Ready? A transfer of an electron from a metal, whoop, good catch, to a non-metal. Right, the fun stuff. Eggs. We're going to add some salt into the jug. You can do that. No, just tip it all in. Tip it in. Good girl. Do you want to stir it with the spoon? Give it a little stir. Stir it all around. Lovely. Now I've got about 200 mils of water in this plastic cup. This is just plain water. And then you've just made some salt water. Do you want to pour that into there? We're going to look at density. This is a bit of physics. So the density of water, density is basically how heavy something is. And the density of water is normally 1 gram per centimetre cubed. But we've just added salt to the water, which is going to increase the density of this water. Now if you pop that egg into the plain water, what happens? What's happened to the egg?
It grows big.
Huh? Oh, it might look big. That's a different science principle. But what's happened to the egg? Where's it gone?
To the bottom.
To the bottom. Okay, and that's because the egg is heavier than the water, or it's more dense than the water. Now, if you want to just add the egg to the saline water, the one with salt in it, add the egg. What's happened?
It's floating.
Okay, because what we did, we made the water more dense than the egg. And this is what happens in the Dead Sea. People float in that sea because it's got a lot of salt in there, because the water is
It's like not
more dense.
salt, it's like salt.
Salt. So this is the formula for GCSE. So density is mass divided by volume. So we didn't change the volume of water, but we just increased the mass by adding more salt. That's it.